Today we'll be talking about spectator seating at sporting events. The main managerial problem that we are addressing in our report as well as in our market research is the spectator seating problems and preferences at these non-professional sporting events. So our goal in understanding this managerial problem through our research is to introduce a service or product that caters to the research insights in order to address this problem. The spectators often face complex seating arrangements that negatively impact their overall experience at the sporting events and can change their perspective in wanting to attend future events. So by solving this problem, it is significant in wanting to find a solution and can affect the overall satisfaction and experience of the sports spectators.
That this problem is important is because it kind of affects a lot of people who go to any amateur sport events, because at any of the grass fields or even in a gymnasium or anything like that, there are a lack of seating options. Usually people are just left with bleachers or whatever you can bring, and this leaves spectators with little no options of what they want to sit in, and it leads them to disliking their experience at the game because they're really uncomfortable. And then we also found that there were no other companies trying to do what we're doing, which is doing a rental chair company. So what we would do is we would provide the convenience for the consumers and kind of take out the fear of leaving your chair at home or even on the field. And so how we got to our solution and how we actually conducted our research was through a series of in-depth interviews, as well as just researching online. And so our goal of our research was to better understand the pain points of those who are attending sporting events and to find a solution that would best fit the consumer needs that we discovered in our interview.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about key insights from our depth interviews. In our depth interviews, we use the ZIMA approach to be able to determine main pain points in our interviewees at sporting events regarding the seating arrangements. We showed them images of metal bleachers, this camping chair, the camping chair with the umbrella, a blanket on the ground, stadium seating, and then bleachers with cushions on them to be able to assess what people feel about typical seating arrangements at sporting events is like. With that, in our depth interviews, we were able to create an affinity diagram to be able to assess our main pain points from our interviewees. We were able to break it up into three main categories, which is ergonomics, ease, and accessible. We're going to run through those. For ergonomics, back support, comfort, and weather permitting were three major things within ergonomics. So for back support, our interviewees said that the chair needs to be designed to provide comfort and back support. They said that the chair needs to be comfortable and minimize pain. For comfort, they said the product should be designed to provide maximum comfort to the user, ensuring a happier and more enjoyable experience for all. They also said the chair must follow regulations that some sporting events have in place while allowing for comfortability. As for weather permitting, our interviewees told us that the product should provide a durable covering that protects from various weather elements that can accommodate multiple people at once. The product needs to provide comfortable seating that addresses weather conditions, and the chair should provide comfort and be bug-free while still providing a view.
Ease of the product. Factors we found important were having chairs that were lightweight, easy to store, portable, and convenient. All of these would allow the product to be durable and also user-friendly for our target audience, whether they were attending a game within their city or another state. The last part of our affinity diagram was based on accessibility. Within this category, we focused on the product being affordable, the availability of the product, visibility for the customer, and overall safety of the product. Being based mainly on the customer experience, we focus on having our product add to the user experience by being comfortable and accessible, as well as enhancing viewing experience, all while being cost efficient and safe for all users. After conducting our in-depth interview, many concerns that came up were based around the frustrations of leaving seats at home and having none available at the given destination. Also, the importance of having a comfortable seating option that allows the user to get the best experience possible. There was also discussion on how, within the sporting community, seating is a very important factor that shouldn't be forgotten. A big quote that stuck with us was, "It becomes more of a challenge, and having it available to rent on site would be nice compared to having to bring it from home and lugging it around with you. It would be an excellent addition."
Because we did convenience sampling, and specifically with our family and friends, there's definitely going to be some measurement error in the study, because the way that we phrase questions to our friends and family is often different than if it were a stranger. And by doing that, we are getting different answers than we would normally, and from a possibly more honest audience, as they will also probably bias their answer and give us answers that we think that we want to hear. Also, because we did a non-probability sampling, the convenience sampling, it's very possible that it is not representative of the target market that we're shooting for. So really have to put into question the external validity of the study, and just want to make sure that we're not making sweeping generalizations when we're talking about the study in particular. Then we'll move on to what was learned. Just some insights from conducting this research. There was a couple of surprising and unexpected things. A couple of those were the idea of having an umbrella on the chairs. Cost is a really big pain point in this target market, and people's opinions vary depending on their preferred seating arrangement. When we did our ZMET activity, we got very different results from each of our participants. And what was not known before research, we had to get a basic idea of our target audience, as this was exploratory research, finding out specific pain points and a solution for the problem.
All right, so after doing our market research, we wanted to come up with a solution or a recommendation to help solve this problem. So the first thing that our team did was come up with some wild solutions. These are solutions that people don't normally think of. Usually people rule them out because they're so crazy, but we thought they would be super important in helping us make a final decision because it can spark some ideas that we may not normally have. So the first one is inflatable seating. So this can be a chair, this can be a couch, anything like that. And it will basically just be like an inflatable, like a pool floaty. And you can inflate it to various levels of firmness, and that will depend on the user's preference. And so we can meet a lot of people and meet a lot of people's needs with that. The wearable seating, we had an idea that we can make a chair into a backpack, or inflatable cushions, again, that can be worn. This is going to help with the comfort because it's going to make sure that they are comfortable with the inflatable again. But it also is going to help the problem of transportation. A lot of people said that they don't like carrying it to the fields, they don't like storing it. So something like this is going to be super easy to transport. The next option is treehouse seating. So this alleviates the problem of spectators having to bring chairs. This will be using the natural resources around us. So a lot of trees, things like that. We will have tree houses built there with seating options, so spectators can have an unblocked view of the game while also being comfortable. And then the last option we thought of was timeshare seating. So this is kind of an idea where you rent out a chair, or you plan ahead for it, and so you can purchase a seat for a game, and then at the end of the game you will give it on to the next person who is watching the next game, because the target market that we're going for is going to be sitting there for a long time, lots of games going on, lots of tournaments, that kind of thing. And this brings us to our final solution. So after incorporating all of these ideas, we came up with the idea of traveling chair rentals. And so this will be kind of similar to a food truck. It's going to be that same vibe. It's going to be movable. It's going to be transportable. We can move it to any venue that we want, and it will be full of chair rentals. So a big concern that we found from consumers is that price matters to them. They don't want to be spending a ton of money on an expensive chair, while others don't feel that it's worth it to buy a $5 chair from Walmart. So there will be a lot of variety in the chairs offered at different price points to meet different consumers' needs. It will be available on site. This is going to take away from the consumers having to store their chairs, having to pack them, having to bring them with them. And we also want to make a feature available that you can reserve your chair ahead of time. This means you don't have to rush to the field to go reserve a spot. You won't have to worry about any of that. And this is the conclusion of our research, and we hope to one day alleviate the problem of spectator seating at sporting events. Thank you.